Hi, thank you for joining us today. If you're tuning in for the first time, please click on the StreamYard link that is in the Facebook post and give it permission to use your name when you comment or like. That way we can see who it is we're talking to. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, share, or create a watch party if you're on Facebook. And if you are tuning in for the replay, thank you for coming back to us, and feel free to leave a comment or direct message us, and we will respond promptly. Today, we are here with Eileen Rodriguez. Eileen is the Regional Director from the Florida SBDC at USF. She's also a certified global business professional. She has been with the SBDC for more than 20 years and owned her own business originally. So Eileen, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Eileen's coming to us from the NASBITE International Annual Conference, and that is where our CGBPs travel every year to update their education and their knowledge on international trade. Is that a good explanation, you think?
Sure. Yep, that'll work.
Okay, and obviously if you're new to Florida SBDC at USF, we assist more than 1,000 existing and emerging businesses every year in the 10-county Tampa Bay region with no-cost consulting, information, and training. So thank you for joining us again. Eileen's here from Savannah, and we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So question number one is, Eileen, tell us what a CGBP is.
Sure. So CGBP stands for the Certified Global Business Professional, and that's a designation that's managed by NASBITE International. This designation shows that a person is proficient in global business. In order to become a CGBP, you need to have education and experience in order to really navigate today's complex global environment. So there is an exam involved. So you do have to study for the exam, take the exam. And for those small businesses, you know, if you think your business is not exposed to global markets, think again, because most of us have websites. And if you have a website, that means anybody can access you. So a lot of times we don't think that global or exporting really applies to a small business, but guess what? It does. It really, really does. Okay. And so why should entrepreneurs care whether or not their business consultant is CGBP certified? Well, you know, being CGBP certified is really important. And the reason why is because you then have trust in the small business consultant that is giving you advice. You know that the person sitting in front of you advising you on international trade really knows what they're talking about, because they do have that experience, they do have that education, and it's been certified by a third-party organization that says, yes, these folks know what they're talking about.
Okay, so obviously we have CGBP certified individuals with the SBDC, and that's actually statewide. The Florida SBDC network has one in pretty much every center. But is it beneficial to have an internal employee CGBP certified?
You know, it really is very important to do that, if at all possible. Now, I understand that a lot of small business owners, they might have just one person that dedicates part of their time to the international aspect of their business. Bigger companies will have a little bit, you know, more personnel. So it's still important, though, if they have somebody who is dedicated to the international part of their business, to exporting their products and services, that person should know all the ins and outs of international trade. And I think having that individual study, sit for the exam, CGBP, it really just shows them every aspect of it. They might know a little bit about the financial part of it. It just depends on what their background is, but they'll become much more proficient at everything having to do with international if they have a CGBP. Okay.
And does CGBP focus on, what is it exactly? Does it focus on particular international markets, or is it, you know?
Yes. Yeah, so the CGBP actually has 4 domains. And so it takes a look at, the best way to explain this is it's not any one particular thing in depth. it's actually looking at a lot of things, right? A lot of different domains. And so you're looking at international finance, international marketing, international management, and you don't need to be an expert in any one of those specific areas, but you need to know a lot about each one. And so that's what the CGBP does. It really exposes you to a broad breadth of the different aspects of international trade.
Okay. If you're just joining us, we are talking with Eileen Rodriguez today. She's the Regional Director for Florida SBDC at USF and a Certified Global Business Professional. She is coming to us live from the NASBITE International Annual Conference in Savannah, Georgia. We encourage you to like, comment, share, or start a watch party. And if you're joining us on the replay, feel free to continue to leave comments and we will respond. So moving on, you're obviously at the conference and it's wrapping up, I think, today, yes?
Yes, tonight.
Okay, so what are your top takeaways so far from the conference that might be useful for business owners?
So one of the reasons I come here is because we get to share best practices with similar organizations that also help small business owners. It might be another SBDC, it might be an EDC, an economic development company. So we all get to share a lot of what we do. And basically get to rob and duplicate sometimes, because that's always good. If I hear about somebody doing a special program, I'm thinking, you know, that would work in Tampa, so I'm going to bring it over. So we love to steal ideas from each other. So that really, really helps. The other thing is that reinforces the network of CGBPs across North America that I then have access to. Myself and my staff, I mean, we have 5 CGBPs in our office, and so we need to be able to reach out to somebody that perhaps has experience in a specific area that we currently don't have. If a client comes to us with a specific problem and none of us have encountered that before, but I happen to know somebody in Spokane, Washington that does, you know, because they have a program particular to that, then I want to be able to reach out to them and use whatever resources I have at my disposal. And so NASBITE gives me that. The other thing is that it lets me hear from federal agencies, such as the Small Business Administration's Office of International Trade, the U.S. Commercial Service, Exim Bank, or the U.S. Department of Agriculture. All of these federal government agencies have an international component to them. And those folks actually show up here to NASBITE and they share what they, you know, whatever new rules or regulations there may be or programs that are available for small businesses. And that way we take that back to our regions. I take that back to Tampa Bay and tell my clients about that they need to take advantage of certain opportunities that have been made available to them.
Okay, and we actually have a question from Janina Rosario. She wants to know, is CGBP certification recognized outside the U.S.?
You know, that's a really good question. So CGBP, NASBITE is an international organization. It's slowly but surely becoming more, I guess, exposed throughout the world. Right now, it really does concentrate in North America. As a matter of fact, you know, NASBITE began back in the late 80s, and it used to be called it was like the Association of North American Small Business International Trade Educators. That's where the word NASBITE comes from. But that was too much to say, so they decided to just, you know, make it a little shorter and just call it NASBITE. And what they've done is they've brought in people from Canada as well as Mexico because it was North America. And so we've got CGBPs in Canada, in Mexico. What we run into, of course, is that the exam is currently in English. And so to have people sit for the exam that perhaps English is not their first language might be a little bit more difficult. They are working on that right now, as a matter of fact. They're trying to make this a little bit more broad so that it could be, the exam could be taken in a couple of different languages. So they're continuously working on that.
Interesting. Okay. So international trade is a core service area at the local center in Tampa, which is, if you're in Tampa, it's located at Channelside in the Port Tampa Bay building. The center has four CGBP certified consultants, correct?
We actually have 5.
5. Okay. So how do those CGBP consultants assist small businesses with their international trade endeavors? What kind of services can small businesses get with SBDC?
So we do it in a couple of different ways. First of all, our basic one-on-one consultations We have no cost consultations. We've always done this for the last 40 some odd years at the SBDC, and one of those areas is international trade. So of my 5 certified CGBPs, 4 of them currently work in that arena, specifically in international trade. And so any one of our clients who have questions, whether they're new to export, they've never exported before, they're thinking about it, they really don't know what it's going to take in order to export their products or services, or somebody who already has dipped their toe, if you will, in the pool, and they're maybe exporting to one country, but now really looking to expand and export to new markets. Those folks can call, just like everybody else, make an appointment, and they need to say that they want to talk about international trade, and then they'll get one of our CGBPs to sit down with them and help them figure out, is this going to be a worthwhile endeavor for them? How do we get them to that point where they've made their first external sale, things of that nature. So, the one-on-one consultation is really important. Once, it depends on the company as well. We had at our disposal a lot of market research databases where we could find information for small business owners in international trade and really help them with finding information as far as, in their industry, who's already exporting, where are they exporting to, so they can kind of compare and contrast with those other companies that are doing the same type of thing. We have a signature service. It's called the Export Marketing Plan Service. Right. And that service, it's a NASBITE award-winning program. We actually just received an award today at NASBITE for this particular program, and so we're very, very proud of it. It's a statewide program. We partner with Enterprise Florida. They're the ones that actually kind of began this program, and since the beginning, since the inception of this program, our SBDC certified global business professionals have been writing export marketing plans for small business owners. And so we'll actually sit down, spend about 100 hours of research time and report writing time, sitting down with those clients for maybe 5 hours tops, and then put together a plan for them so that they have a much better idea as to how to export their products and services. So right now, the way it works for this program, you have to be a Florida manufacturer. 51% has to be of your product has to be U.S. content. And the businesses themselves, we want a business that's been at least in business for 2 years, has 5 or more employees, and has about $500,000 to $10 million in annual sales. Okay. So that's the definition of the perfect company that can apply for the Export Marketing Plan program.
Okay. Steve actually came in with a question. He'd like to know who qualifies for CGBP certification.
Well, that's a great question. So really, it's usually professionals that will qualify to become a CGBP. Anybody can sit for the exam. However, you need to have a certain amount of experience and a certain amount of education in order to really sit for the exam. So that can be obtained, of course, if this is something that you're interested in and maybe you don't have the right amount of education or the right amount of years of experience, these can be obtained. But pretty much anybody, if you will, practitioners can sit for the CGBP. So this is pretty much who does sit for the exam. The service provider organizations, right? Like the SBDCs, the economic development organizations, they're the ones that sit for the exam. Government agencies, so we have U.S. commercial service folks, the SBA, they sit for it. And we also have small business owners that sit for the exams as well. Because again, as we mentioned earlier in the program, it's really useful to have in-house expertise.
Right. So anybody who wants to break into the international trade or exporting market or is going to assist those businesses qualifies for CGBP certification.
Okay. Yeah, and again, you submit an application, they review it, and then they'll tell you whether you can sit for the exam or not. It's not an easy exam, by the way, so you do have to study.
Is that an annual, so recertification, is that just continuing education credits or?
It is. It is. You have to have 10 CEUs every year in order to qualify to renew your certification.
Okay. So going back to the EMPs, and international trade services offered at the SBDC. If people are interested in that, what's the best method for them to contact the SBDC, Yosef?
So there is an online application for this. And so the best thing for them to do really is to go to the website. And our website is sbdctampabay.com. If you go to the website, and I believe the website is up on the screen now. Yes, it is. Thank you. If you go to that website and you click on services, you'll find where it says international trade. Click on that and just read on that page and you'll see, you know, apply for an export marketing plan. So just follow the website instructions and you'll be able to apply for the export marketing plan. Okay.
Any final comments you'd like to make?
I would just really encourage all of our listeners to really consider this. You know, 95% of our markets are outside of the United States. And if you're only doing business domestically, you're missing out on a huge chunk of potential money. And that's what it's all about for small businesses. We want to sell, right? Small businesses want to sell as much as possible. And so really concentrating just domestically might not be the best idea. It's a little scary, I'll give you that. You know, if you've never done work internationally, it can be a little daunting, but it's not impossible. And you have resources like the SBDC to really help you get to that point where you feel very comfortable doing that.
Okay, and I actually do have a follow-up question of my own. I know that you have been on multiple export mission trips and trade mission trips over the years with some of our partners at like Tampa, Hillsborough, EDC, et cetera. Is there a particular country or countries that there's really a focus on right now in Florida, or is it kind of all over the board?
I think it really depends on the industry. Every industry is completely different. And so I can't say, yeah, right now, you know, Peru is hot. That's not the way it works. It really depends on what your industry is, where you are within your industry, and within your life, the life cycle of your business. That's what that export marketing plan does. It actually highlights what your best options are for your business. Whereas, you know, your next door neighbor might be saying, right now the hot market is Australia. That might not be it for you. And so we sit down and we really investigate your business and tell you these are your top 10 countries, and then you decide where you want to attack as far as, you know, moving into those markets.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. I just want to check. We don't have any further questions at this time, so that's all the time we have today. If we didn't get to your questions or you posted a question after the live broadcast ended, then we'll be responding to those shortly. The replay of today's live stream will be available shortly on the Facebook page as well. If you're interested in SBDC services, please visit us online at sbdctampabay.com. And if you already know that you would like to schedule an appointment with a consultant, again, that's at no cost for any business in the Tampa Bay 10-county region. Visit us online at sbdctampabay.com/schedule-consultant. It's that simple. Click on the little button, fill out a little bit of information, and our office will be in touch shortly. So Eileen, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day in Savannah.
Thanks. Thank you.